Why is it that every single time that someone is talking about something serious on YouTube, they are with a mug, drinking stuff? Like, I don't know, sometimes I feel thirsty, so water is cool, but how come people only film things when they're drinking stuff? It's kind of strange, isn't it? I just wanted to talk about that for a while. Hello beautiful bookworms, my name is Katarina and welcome to my channel. So today I have a kind of a different video from what you are used to see by me, but I think it's kind of important to do this video right now and to upload it and to just know your opinions and talk a little bit with you about this, because there's been a wave going on BookTube. I do believe it was first started by Emilia from Coffee Shattered. Then I watched Jess' video. I'm going to leave those two linked down below. And then Gentara from Book Roast also made a video about this. And I was watching these videos and I was thinking about this kind of discussions. And I was thinking, yeah, I have an opinion to give about this. And this is a very fairly recent discussion. This is the discussion that should exist and that I actually enjoyed it. So I decided I was going to pitch in and discuss this with you guys. And obviously you can already see for the title of this video, but I'm going to discuss a little bit about genres, book genres, and what people are reading, what they are not, and what does that mean, and what has the community to say about this in a way. So this is only my opinion, and obviously I don't mean to step over other people's opinions. So if you have an opinion that is different than me, please just leave it linked down below. If you want to talk about this in another way, just comment, message me if you want. Just talk about this. It's really important, and I think that we should talk about this because when something like this is raising problems in the communities, so to speak, and raising so many people that have so many viewers to start and talking about this, maybe it's because it's a problematic thing that we should talk about, and that is only my opinion. So here goes nothing, and I hope you enjoyed this discussion and that you can discuss with me all about book genres and what we think of it. I got thirsty. I know that I was bitchy about this, but it's just water, okay? So firstly, everything began with the fact that people were starting to think that most of the channels on YouTube right now have pretty much YA content. What does that mean? Why is that genre the one that is the most important? Yada yada. And so a giant discussion just came to YouTube, to BookTube specifically, and I decided to pitch in a little bit. So for those of you that don't know, YA is kind of a genre for young adults, as the name says, and it can pretty much be from teenagers to until 20 something, not a lot after that, because after that you have well, you have adult books, new adult, something like that. But first of all, for me, I do believe that those stereotyped genres are not actually the real genres, so to speak, because people have different interests. And for me, for instance, I have 21 years old, and I enjoy reading adult books, of course, but I do enjoy reading YA books too, and fairly recently I even read middle grade because it was such a good story, then why not? And it may sound odd for someone that has 21 years old to be like, oh, I read this book that was aimed to people with 10 years old. I can grant you that you are confused, but first of all, as I mentioned, that book did not seem written to people of 10 years old. I lost myself kind of there. And second of all, why can't I read what I want? And this is something that I've been thinking a lot since I watched those videos by those people that I follow and adore to watch this kind of discussions. And once again, I'm going to leave their videos linked down below, so go check them out if you want some kind of context for this discussion. this is something that I was thinking a lot about, and what the conclusion that I reached was that right now, bookstores and book publicity and everything is kind of going towards the young, which, first of all, it's an awesome thing. It's a really good thing, and I enjoy that a lot because it makes people want to read. And I know a lot of people that did not want to read, but now, because of some certain publicities, of some certain genres, of some certain stories, they do enjoy to read, and they're pretty much all of my age or below or something like that. And I find that really interesting because, let's be real, if you wanted to read some years back, you didn't have a lot of publicity and support of the reading. You just go to a library or to a bookstore and I want a book, and you get a book and stuff like that. And now what I see these days is that, well, through BookTube, of course, but through a lot of bookstores, through a lot of websites, I see a lot of things directed to the young people that they can enjoy and they can start reading. And for me, I always read my entire life, but for some people, they haven't, and now is the time that they start reading, and that's very important to have something that you can reach, to have, I mean, for instance, services that bring you each month some goodies and a book, for instance, for those of you that enjoy those kind of things. There are a lot of services like that, and they are aimed for different genres, like fantasy, horror, I don't know, thriller, normal daily life books, something, okay? And a lot of other types of books, like manga, graphic novels, and something like that, are being brought to light slowly. So I think this is a good thing, and I love hearing all of these young people, and I say young people, I know that I'm young too, obviously, but I love to hear everyone just raving about stories and being enchanted by reading, because that's the most important thing. But with this, I wanted to say this is really good, but obviously, if you're aiming for a sort of population, you have to go with the generalized media of the thing. Like, you just point for that because that's the recipe for success, and then what it comes with it, you just deal with it. So, what do I mean with this? What I mean is that sometimes, even though you're aiming for younger readers, sometimes older readers, or even younger readers than the ones that you're aiming for, read those books. Obviously, they have access to it. And obviously, it depends a lot of the reader, but in my opinion, anyone can read whatever they want. I mean, unless you're 10 years old and you're picking up a book that describes something very aggressive that you haven't had the opportunity to talk with your parents about, or that you don't know anything about, and that can possibly scar you for life, that is not very good, obviously. But if you're a little bit mature and you've read something or you want to try something, you can try. That's why there's trigger warnings for stuff that are complicated and that the book goes deep into. That's why there's a lot of people reviewing books, and that's why there's obviously the genre where the books are meted in, so if you know what I mean. But for me, it's very complicated to hear and to think that people would read books that they don't like just because they are inside the genre and the age gap that they should. For instance, a lot of times, for a lot of people of my family and friends and stuff, I get a little bit looked with a certain kind of way because I read some books that are considered YA fantasy, for instance, or because I read, I don't know, middle grade. I started reading, I don't read a lot, but I enjoyed it, and yeah. And sometimes people say, well, why don't you read a little thing, more mature thing, because, you know, you're a grown-up woman and you're going to live your life just reading that, and don't you think those are a little fairy tale-ish and those are for little kids? No, you can read whatever you want, and this is a point where I want to get in this video, is that for me, reading is pleasure. So in the times that you read, because you feel forced to read, because a book is really hyped on BookTube, or because a book has been having a lot of reviews from a lot of people, and that it has to be read in that day, on that moment, and because of that thing, but you don't really take any real pleasure, and you don't even like the synopsis, but, well, I have to read that shit because everyone's reading it. When you get to that point, you're not having fun. And the thing about reading, well, for some people is kind of a job, like for editors and stuff when they have to translate books and etc. But for most of people, it's supposed to be a hobby. So if you're turning that into something that you are hating slowly because you have to read that, and you put pressure on yourself and you stress yourself, and you can't read what you like because you're reading what other people tell you to read, if you know what I mean, that's the moment when you will start hating reading. And for me, you guys know me, you've been on my channel for a while now, and for those of you that have seen my videos, you know that I have a lot of different videos. I reviewed middle grade, I review adult books, and I review young adult books, because that's what I read and that's what I like. And I can't possibly think of myself doing a video that is just because, well, I don't like this book, but people are reading this, and I have no interest in this, but I'm going to review it, and I'm gonna read it, because, like, let me just put this a little bit on a practical way of talking about stuff. Contemporaries. I hate contemporaries, but that's just me, and I know a lot of people enjoy it, okay? And a lot of contemporaries can be adult, they can be YA, doesn't matter. I don't like it. So imagine me not liking it, not enjoying it a lot. Obviously, I'm not going to say all of the genre is bad, because of course not. You can't just generalize that way, because that's just wrong and abusive, and it doesn't work that way. But imagine that someone is raving about a contemporary book, and I'm like, okay, so I have to read this so that I can review it, so that I have more viewers and more subscribers. That for me does not work, so I'm sorry about that, guys, because I can't really do that, because that would be not having pleasure on something. And I know that I'm going a bit off of the YA theme in here, but everything that I'm saying applies to that theme, is that you shouldn't read something that you don't enjoy, and the content that you make is obviously associated with things that you enjoy, and the people that you're going to talk about are people that enjoy things that you enjoy. So in that line of thought, obviously you're not going to change yourself in the things that you like just because of the platform where you are, and the things that are being published right now, and the things that are being on social media and transmitted and that you have access to, because right now, thank God, there's a lot of access to a lot of different things and a lot of different genres and a lot of different places where you can buy a lot of different things. So why the hell should we say that we have to make this kind of content and we have to read this kind of things? A lot of booktubers that I watch read YA, and they are not particularly young. But that doesn't mean anything. That just means that they enjoy those books and they recommend it because that's what they like to talk about. But I know booktubers that also talk about middle grade, for instance, and they don't have 10 years old, but they don't care about that shit because they like the books. And I know a lot of booktubers that only like to read adult books, and that is completely fine. The thing here is you can't tell people that they can't read what they want to read. If I pick up a book on a library and I just read the synopsis, I'm not going to be like, well, is this YA? Or is this, what is this? Well, if it's not YA, I can't buy it. Or if it's adult, I have to buy it because I'm an adult. No, guys, you have to buy it if you enjoy the synopsis or the cover or the freaking history or whatever you want. If you enjoy the end pages, you just have to buy it because you enjoy it, and that's that. Or you don't have to buy it at all, just have to see it and touch it and whatever. Do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I mean? I don't know. I'm kind of losing myself a little bit with what happens when I don't have anything written to talk about and I just decide, humor me, let's just do this discussion alone without any paper support and thinking that you can talk to a camera 15 minutes on a row. I'm kind of failing. But I don't know, I decided to leave this here so that you guys could talk about it and comment, because I think that that's something that has been disgusting, and I think that a lot of people on BookTube, but on your life and on other platforms, sometimes judge people because of what they read, the content that they make, and everything like that, and I think that's not really fair, because if you have something that makes you happy and that you want to share with other people, that's probably the something that you should be going after. Obviously, I'm not saying just restrict yourself to that genre that you love. Don't search for other books that you may love in other genres. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying try it. Even I sometimes read contemporaries. Granted, most of them I don't really like, but sometimes one of them appears and I'm like, well, you're a contemporary, but you're fun, so bring it in, brother. And that's how it happens. It happens. People can try to know new things, to present new things. Nobody should be, I was going to say nobody is going to, but I realize that sometimes this happens. Nobody should be mad at you for just changing your likes, for just trying to read new things, or even if you don't try to read new things, nobody should judge you for that. Like, you should like whatever you like, whatever. Since you don't interfere with any other people's likes, then it's okay. You can search for what you want, if you understand my point. So this is going to be all for this discussion-y video. I'm so sorry for making such a huge video just talking about this. Probably you didn't want to hear me rambling, because that's basically what I did about this topic, but I hope that I can give some light about this if you didn't understand that this was going on in BookTube. It is a discussion that is going on. It is one that I have a lot of opinions about, and I have actually commented on a lot of these videos about my opinions. And yeah, so just keep informed and tell me in the comments down below what you think of this discussion. If you have the same opinion as me, if you have a different opinion, it's completely cool. It's fine. I don't care. I just want us all to be happy and to read a lot. That's just what I'm doing here. So yeah, guys, I hope you like this video. If you like it, leave a like or subscribe, and just tell me something about the topic if you want, what you think about it. So that is all for today, and happy readings to you all. Bye!